Hey, what's going on, guys? Tony here, CCxRC, and as you can tell, we've got an awesome new RC with us on the bench today. This is the VKAR Racing SCTX10 version 2. Also goes by the call sign MASC 4x4, which there's a couple different naming conventions. So whichever one brought you here, you know, take it for what it is. There's a lot of different conventions all throughout the manuals on these. But it's a 1/10 scale 4x4 short course truck from VKAR Racing. Very similar to the Bison, same chassis, and but there's some smaller parts on this, keeps it lighter weight. Nice low center of gravity on it. And it's just, you know, it looks like a really fun short course truck to run for under 300 bucks. Brushless. We're going to get it out of the box and show you guys what it comes like and everything that we see inside. So let's do it. All right, here it is, the box for the new VKAR Racing SCTX10 version 2, their short course truck. This one, it says, comes in red and black, which looks like it does here on the box, which I think looks amazing. If you guys can see it here, we're getting closer for you. The other side of the box has a couple of other little things here, talking about the lower center of gravity chassis. It's saying 7.3 millimeters lower than typical ones. Durable anodized hairline finish aluminum chassis, 3 sealable differentials, and then the shocks, which are going to be oil filled. So let's go ahead and get it out of the box. See how she's packaged in here. Looks like we've got it upside down, which happens to me all the time. All right. There it is. Looks really good. I like the colors. You guys know me, my color schemes, but it looks pretty well packed. Says the user manual is inside. We're gonna have our controller in over here, so let's just start cutting. Controllers in here, part of the charger, and the rest of the charger. Really want us to get in here for it. It's packaged in a way that you'd almost expect it to have like a clear plastic side so you'd be able to see it through the box. So we're gonna get our manual in here. 1/10 scale 4-wheel drive short course. All right, so let's go through some of the paperwork here first. This is everything you get in the box on the table. You're gonna get your instruction manual with a couple of extra sheets. Now the instruction manual just kind of goes through how to do everything, shock oil, assemblies, yada yada yada, lots of parts, descriptions. It's going to have some basics for driving, your layouts for everything and how to use it, but it has changed some things that are in this manual and they've given you papers for it. So it's telling you the new parts that they're using here for some of the pieces that they've added in here. So new bodies, motors, things like that. And then it has the transmitter adjustments, receiver, servo connection, all of that tied into this. So it's just telling you how to use the components that come with it, and then here's going to be model wiring and how to set your throttle calibration on your ESC. And so this is all valuable paperwork and good to have to know how to put it into those modes. So that's valuable. Comes with a couple of hex wrenches, 3 of them. The charger is going to be, you can see here, a 2S 3S charger with an EU plug on it. It's AC3S10 is the model number on this. So it's basically a balance lead charger. It's kind of a slow charge. Onto the controller. Looks good, feels pretty good. It's a rubber, not really a foam, more of an actual rubber wheel on this that feels really grippy and good. It's on-off is back here. It's 3 channels, so it's got another switch here that's got 3 position, off, and then 2 others. Well, I guess it's not, it depends on what you have, but there's 3 steps in that switch. Then you're going to have your throttle trim, your steering trim, steering dual rate, and this is going to be like a throttle dual rate for setting your speed that it'll go, max speed. If you have somebody new running it, you can turn down the speed on it if you don't want it to break your car. Looking at the bottom, it's going to take 4 AA batteries, so feels good overall. We'll see how it is in actual use. Now to the car, which is what everybody always likes to see. So it's got a nice plastic cover on it. There it is. Real nice paint job on it. Very clean and very sharp graphics. It's thin but flexible, so it shouldn't break too bad, I don't think. I like it when it's flexible. It's reduced some of the cracking. All right, guys, so this is what we're here to see. This is the VKAR Racing SCTX10, the VKAR Racing version 2 of this truck. Short course, 1/10 scale, 4x4, under $300, guys. Pretty cool deal. If this thing can perform, I know that the Bison performs and that there's part availability here in the US, which I really like about it. There are some chassis issues. Those cannot be ignored. This is going to be driven differently than that, and so hopefully we won't have some of those issues. Plus, there are ways to remedy it now that are out and available. When you order this truck, you could also order this little chassis brace that goes on the bottom to help prevent it. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we go over the truck. I definitely wanted to point that out in the beginning because that's something that's been happening with the Bison. But you can get parts here pretty easily. This is going to be very comparable to the Helion 410 SC, their short course truck. So anyway, let's get a look over this thing. The body on it looks fantastic. I love red, white, and black, or red, white, and green. And so I'm excited about the color scheme on this. The graphics I like, the little mud splatters instead of flames, kind of cool. 10, you got the racing numbers on the side here. Little fans, it's thrown in the netting and the shadow of like the roll cages and stuff. Just a really good design. Tires looking nice, the black and white. They feel nice and soft. I'm not sure how they'll perform. There's definitely foam in there. These are running 12mm hexes. I did take off one of the tires so we could look in underneath, but I'll give you a quick look here. So yeah, these are 12mm hexes. And the steering carriers here are, the steering block is metal. So the C-hub carrier, however, is plastic, and so are the arms, and we'll see that in more detail as we go forward. I just wanted to see what size tire these were, if it was going to be standard, and it is 12mm. So let's take this off and see what we get under the hood. Oh, and I should have noticed this before when I pulled off and saw the steering block, but it's blue metal on this instead of the gold that we've seen so much of in the VKAR stuff. Even I think in the previous model of this. So all right, so let's take a look at it. Let's go back up front here where we were looking because I took off this tire. Can see it in a little bit better light here. The A-arms are plastic. They're much smaller than the Bison. The drive shafts here also are plastic. You can see the center splines. They're multiple piece. They look like they run CV or universal style joint on there. Let me just stick this tire underneath here to hold it up. Get a look. The nice front bumper here. Got a little bit of shock absorption there. We've got alloy all up front here, or some kind of metal, probably an aluminum. We've got threaded shock bodies here, and these are also aluminum shocks. And let's see, take a look around here. We do have adjustable turnbuckles and steering links here, so that's nice. It does come with like a dust cover, a dust shroud. And underneath here, we're going to have our servo, ESC, batteries, all of the stuff that make the truck go. So, looking over here real quick, we've got our on-off switch, which it powers on because they shipped it plugged in here, so that's interesting. I don't know why they would do that. But the steering servo on this is a 40 gram, they say 6 kilogram high torque servo. The ESC is 60 amp ESC. And then we've got the motor, which is going to be, it's 3650, and it's a 3300 kV brushless motor system in here. And that is sensorless. There's no sensor on that. Looking in here, you can see our battery. Nice straps here. And they've also gone and they've put foam on both sides, which is nice. These do have a metal drive shaft that's running underneath here, but this, unlike the Bison, comes covered, which is nice. Keep rocks and debris and stuff out of there. So the battery is a 3500 mAh 25C. It is 3S. So we'll go ahead and just unplug this and get it out of here so we can take a look. And the battery is running the Dean style T-plug connectors, which is very common. And again, the battery tray looks good. In the back, we're going to have metal bracing here for the motor. Looks like we're going to have one screw here that'll go to our spur gear and pinion gear underneath this, make it easy to get at. They do have like this little mount brace right here that's like a shock tower brace, I guess. I wish that they did a bigger one. I don't know how they do it here unless they put a platform, but you know, a larger brace that came down to the chassis to avoid the problems with the chassis cracking. So that's something. I mean, at least there is something here to try and help prevent some of that flex in the rear end. Let's take a look. A lot of people, they run just a threaded rod all the way across, and they put nuts on the inside and on the outside to hold it so it won't move at all, and that acts as like a brace to help prevent the bend, because it's a three-piece basically chassis design. We'll take a look underneath here and show that real quick. So your whole back section here comes off, and that'll all separate from this main part of the chassis. And the same with the front end. You can take all of this apart separately. And yeah, so you have a point here where this chassis likes to crack right down along to here. This point around the center gearbox there. So that is and has been a little bit of a problem with these in the past. One of the things that they did release just recently is this brace that, whoops, I have it on backwards, that sits on like this and bolts right in into the main part of the chassis as well as the rear here to help stiffen that up and also add extra protection. So that's one thing that they've done that you can get, and I'd probably just go ahead and order that with the truck if you do get it, just to help stiffen it up some more. It's not too expensive. I think it's $13. Don't quote me on the price of it, but it wasn't very expensive. Comes with extra screws and stuff to mount it, because there's a couple of holes in here that you basically have to put a nut on the other side. So it will require a little bit of removing things to get it in there before you go. But you're not going to, again, drive this probably like you will the Bison with the flipping and that. And so hopefully you won't be landing hard on that rear bumper. And usually what it was anyway was landing on that fin, which would then cause that really hard pressure inward and split it. So I'm guessing with this body that you're not going to, it's going to slide a lot more off of that impact, and the body's going to take more of that abuse. And I don't know that we're going to have that same type of problem. But, you know, anything's possible. I'm just telling you guys, based on the way that I see it as how it happens, the problem, because it's definitely a problem with the Bison. Because I'll pull mine up right now, and I can show you in just a minute the crack. Mine's actually cracked right now, because I haven't had time with all the projects I've been working on to get in there and fix it. I do have a new chassis, and that's what this brace is bought for, so I can get it back out and running again, because I do love that truck. So yeah, they say it goes 80 kilometers an hour, which is about 50 miles per hour. So that's to be seen. We'll do some speed tests with it. You can see here in the back the shocks. You can see the drive shafts a little bit better here. They are plastic again. The rear bumper. Overall, though, it looks pretty good to me. I'm liking the look of it. And yeah. Something that we quickly skated over and past is the receiver here. It's a 3-channel receiver, so you do have an open channel on here. This doesn't have any running lights or anything like that like the Bison did. But here is the Bison, so we'll do a side-by-side of them. So very similar in length, running the same chassis. Again, here you can see that this one does not have this cover. I did buy one for this. I haven't installed it because I'm not going to do that until I go ahead and put it on the new chassis that I have for it. But this has, you know, much bigger ESC motor, things like that. It's used completely different, so it's got bigger A-arms and all of that. Different drive shafts in the front. But here's the cracking problem that's been happening. So you can see where mine's separated here. and then it cracks the chassis right along that line. You can see it opening up right there. And so underneath here, this line here is cracked. Right there. And so what, again, people have done is they've run braces across here. You could do that with this as well. There's a couple things in here as well that are running the same. It's running that same little plastic bushing in there that holds the arms in place. These being lighter arms, the arms might snap before those things would start going, which might be a benefit. Might be easier to swap these out. I don't know. Again, hopefully we're going to be driving this type of car a little bit different than we would the Bison. But we definitely want to point out some of the things that you might see with it. But overall, for what you're getting for under $300 in a four-wheel drive brushless short course truck, it actually looks very impressive, guys. All right, guys, so I'm really excited about running this for you. Going through and looking at all the parts, I'm really excited. It's making me remember getting that Bison for the first time and just having so much fun. So I'm going to be trying in the next few days and weeks to give you multiple videos of this thing running. And yeah, we'll see how it does. There's links in the description below, guys, to check this out. If you like the video, guys, let us know by leaving a comment. Ask us some questions, either about this truck or if something you want to see here on the channel. That goes in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. And as always, have fun RCing, and we'll catch you next time.